Hello guys, welcome back. This is David. I do hope you're doing well. On to our next video now, looking at some more credit risk questions, new ones that came in 2024. Got 13 new questions to show you. Now, as always, you can download the whole batch of questions in one go. The GARP questions, we call these the additional practice questions. Download those in one go if you want them. GARP questions, though, of course, don't cover all the topics, don't cover current issues, and they also have quite a lot of gaps. I recommend, as well as the GARP questions, that you also, guys, get through the Schwes QBank, of course, as well, and our mocks too, to get the full coverage of all the areas. Just before we get into the questions themselves, just to kind of give you an overview of what you're going to see here. Now, some of the questions are going to relate to definitions and features of existing materials. It's not new in any way. And it might be, just make a quick note here. It might be, guys, more of a wordy definition or a feature, or it might be a formula. And this formula, it's not that it's new material at all, but for the very first time, GARP is signposting it as being important. So the GARP questions really are signals that something is quite important for the exam. It might be they've tested it in the exam in the past and it's been badly answered, or maybe for some reason they want to draw our attention to it, so they've created a GARP question on it. So these two first areas here very much are covering the existing material, but they've created effectively a new question from it. Whereas the 2024 material, you will find a few questions in here that only came in with the 2024 material as well. Got a bit of a mixture amongst these questions. Now, whenever you come across something you haven't seen before, I do recommend, though, you do have a good read over. Now, go back to the material, get a good read over just to familiarize yourself, whether it's a definition or a feature or a calc you haven't seen before. Worthwhile going back to the source. And the Schwes notes do a great job of picking up on these questions too. Okay, now on to the first one then, which is looking at securitizations. Now, this question is not really looking at the kind of mainstream mortgage-backed securities. It's a lot more thinking about the more asset-backed securities. Let's just check out this one. So you got here a car loan. The bank plans to securitize car loans using an SPV. Now, we've got three approaches we're going to have a look at here. The first one here, they talk about using the approach of a revolving securitization structure. Part of its planning, reviewing the characteristics of securitization transactions in general, and looking at particular features commonly incorporated as well. So guys, before we look at the answer choices, let's just check out securitizations and the content first. What I've got for you here is just a kind of overview of the three structures mentioned in the text. Number one, guys, firstly, amortizing, which fits with the mortgage-backed securities and consumer loans type structures. Now, in the traditional mortgage-backed security, the borrower, of course, pays the principal and interest, and those cash flows form the cash flow waterfall, which finally get through to investors in the coupons we pay them. So when it says a coupon by coupon basis, it means we're paying them their fixed coupons, whether you use senior tranche, mezzanine tranche, for example. Now, ultimately the payments from the borrowers pay the investors in this way, part of which being principal, part of which being interest. Now, the amount of the prepayment does influence an amortizing structure quite a lot. Guys, interest rates, if they're falling, of course, going to encourage borrowers to refinance and to get a better deal. Interest rates are rising and borrowers are going to keep on their existing deals and not prepay. So that the prepayment assumptions are quite important with amortizing mortgage-backed securities. If you kind of step back for a moment and think about them, we know that it's the borrower that has the long call, which is the right to